So in this session, we will be discussing about a string, list, and tuple. Let's write the heading string. So write a sentence about a string. Strings are immutable sequences of Unicode characters. To represent a string, we use double quote or single quote. So this is one way. So let's suppose if you have any string variable, for example, name equals to double quote Rohan, and if you say print name, then it return Rohan, right? And if you say type of name, then it returns a string class. So we'll go here, name equal to Rohan, and I'll just print it like this. So if you run it, the output is Rohan. And the type of data, we can get it using type function, print type of name, right? Then it says string class. So when you are using double quote, then also it considered as a string. If you use single quote, let's say like this, first underscore name. I don't know why this caps lock is getting on. Okay. First underscore name equal to Rohan, right? And if you print first name and say print the type of first name, then again it's a string type. And let's say I have another variable called last name, and if I pass single quote, then also it will consider as. So if you see the final output here, if I'm using single quote, then also string. If I'm using single quote, then also consider string. Okay. And let's suppose if you want to know how many elements or characters are available into it, so there is a function called length. So len, and then you pass the variable name. So let's say if you want to know how many characters in Rohan string, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The length of the string is 5. So len function returns the number of characters or Unicode characters. Basically, it have alphabet, numbers, or special characters, all the combinations together. So let's say you have an email ID, that is one variable, and let's say info at ottedu.com, right? OTT. Then in this case, string has alphabet, it has a special character also. So, but the overall this data will be string type. So if I say print the type of email ID, and if I print the length of email ID, then also you see this is belongs to string class. So now if you see why string is important in machine learning AI applications, because you have a raw text, the raw data, and you from the raw data you will be doing a cleaning or tokenization, right, or prompt engineering for LLMs. So everywhere we are going to use string type of data. So I'll draw one diagram here. So let's say you have an ML application where you have raw text, and this text you are going to store in variable. This variable will be string type. And using the data, you will be applying some algorithms or rules for data cleaning. So you will get the formatted and cleaned data, right? And then once your data is cleaned, you can use this data for training, or you can use for tokenization, prompt engineering if you are using LLM. So based on the use case, you can perform multiple operations. But at the end, we are handling those data in string form, right? So that is why string is very important for interviews also. So now there is one very favorite topic for interviewers or the seniors. Python string is immutable type. So you can write a heading in string immutable. String is immutable. Like that, you can write the heading. String is immutable. Yeah. So you write some points within that. First is immutability enables memory sharing. That is first point. Immutability enables memory sharing, comma, or you can say in second line, due to immutability, string is thread safe, or there is a thread safety. Then third point says predictable hashing. So we will be studying in data structure in detail hashing and what is predictable hashing. So that is also one of the great point to discuss, predictable hashing. And one of the best answer is safe reuse in dictionary, key and set, right? Let me repeat again. So there are 4 points. One is memory sharing, second is thread safety, third is predictable hashing, and fourth is safe reuse in dictionary, key and sets. So what is dictionary and keys? We will discuss that also later. But these are the 4 points we should consider during the interview discussion. Now, in next line, you can write in that way. Immutability prevents silent data corruption during pre-processing. Immutability prevents silent data corruption during pre-processing. Right? So let's say you have this email address and I want to corrupt it. For example, instead of O, I let's say instead of I in info, I can change I to K. Let's say email underscore ID. So here the indexing concept. I will tell you how exactly indexing works. So at 0th index, I want to change from I to K, right? If I run this program, then it returns error. Why? Because string is immutable. You cannot change. That is the meaning of immutable. So this prevents silent data corruption during pre-processing. So if somebody wants to try to change something in data, that is not allowed in the string. Now, the trap follow-up the question. Ideally, interviewer ask if immutability is good, why not make everything immutable? Right. So in Python, we have integer, float, string, tuple. These are the types of data which is immutable. But list and dictionary are mutable. Okay. So the question suggests or the discussion goes like this. Okay. If you say immutability is best, nobody can change it, then why Python allowed mutable data types? Okay, that is the follow-up question. We will be discussing it once our list topic is ready. So you will be able to correlate. Okay, you write this question and make it to do. So in indexing, we have two types of indexing. One is positive indexing and negative indexing. Right? Positive indexing always go from left to right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on based on the number of characters you have in string. In negative indexing, it start from the end of the character where we are saying -1. Then you go from from right to left. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And if you see the length of name is 5. Correct? There are 5 characters. So there is a relation here. If I say n equals to, if I say n equals to length of name, then the indexing, the positive indexing of name will be from 0 to n minus 1. correct? And if I say negative indexing, then it will be from minus n to minus 1. So that is a relation, if you see. Now, how to access each element using index? So we'll take the above example. I'll just comment it. So let's say name equals to Rohan, and then we print positive indexing. So print name to index 2, index 3, right? Index 4, then print index. Let's say print index 5. So whenever you access the element using index, you always make sure you are using square bracket. Your variable name or the string data, then you are accessing using index, so you need to use square bracket. In a square bracket, you need to pass index. So that is the syntax here. So now I'll just run this output. Um, See here. So we are able to fetch 0th index 1, 2, 3, 4. When I say I want the 5th index element, then it says string out of range. The meaning is whenever we are accessing the elements of a string and we are using an indexing, so you will be able to access within the range. Once it is exceed from your range, then it will return an error. So whenever you are using indexing concept, then always remember you should be in within the range, right? So if I take the example here with length, so let's consider if n equals to length of name, and if I say print n, so the value will be 5, right? Now if I want to make it dynamic, instead of writing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, I can use n also, right? So if I say print name of index n minus 1, so this will give you the last element, right? Because n is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4. So this is one way dynamically while we access the any any letter in the string, we use length function, right? So this is all about positive indexing. All right. So if you see the negative indexing, so if I say here print name of minus n. So here also I'm not passing any fixed value. I'm saying minus n. So then it returns me first letter. Why? Because if I see the negative indexing here, the rule says end element of a string is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. And 5 is the length of the variable here, right? So you can access elements using direct approach also, name at index minus 1. So if you pass minus 1, it always returns the end element, right? If you pass minus n, then it returns start element. So there are few dynamic programming or the problems where you have to fetch the start, let's say start element, right? And I'd say name of index 0 and end element, then I will pass name of minus 1, right? This is one way, right? End element. So this is one way you will be able to access the first element like start element and the end element, right? And another way, if I use n, the length of the string as dynamically, then I'll say, let's say first element equals to name of minus n, right? Last element, so last element will be, again, it can be this also, sorry, n minus 1, right? So if I print first element and last element, then you see this is the way. So these are the dynamically you can access first element and last element. These are the two ways, right? Either you pass 0 or minus 1, or if you are using n as the length of your variable, you can use minus n and n minus 1, right? So these are the few practices when we use the string. Okay, so one thing, let's say if I want to fetch the mid of the element, let's say I have a paragraph, para equals to, this is a string program, right? And I want to find out the mid element, right? So I'll say mid equals to length of para, right? And then divide by 2, right? So if I print mid, what it will return? It will return the mid index. Sorry, I'll just print mid first. I'll print length also, so that we will understand in detail, right? So the length of paragraph is 24, and the mid of the paragraph is 12, right? 12th index. So if I do the indexing of this, it start from 0 to 23, correct? So this is a big string. I'll take the example of this also. In this case, if I apply same algorithm here, then the mid index in this case is 2, right? This is the mid element. Now, in this case, if I say n divide by 2, where 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, right? But I have used this floor division. So what floor division will return? It will return the integer value, right? So it will return you 2. Okay. So let's say if I increase 1 point here, the length of paragraph become 23. Oh, sorry, 25 in this case. But 25 divided by 2, it will become 12.5. But I'm using floor division. अगर मैं ऐसे यूज करता, then then it will return you 12.5. लेकिन 12.5 कोई इंडेक्स होता ही नहीं है, right? All index are in integer number. So that is the reason I am using floor index. Sorry, floor division, right? So now you have 12. So if I say I want to access the mid element of this string, then print paragraph of mid index, correct? Then if I run it, the mid element is R. Now just think like you have a huge string and you want to find out the mid of that, you can do it easily in this way. So in slicing, what we do, if we need any substring, right? So let's suppose I want from O until A, right? This substring out of this string. So the way in slicing is you have a variable name, right? I'll write it here. So the syntax says your variable name, then start index. So this index is from which index you want to start your substring. Let's say in this case, the start index is 1, right? If I talk about the negative indexing, the start index is -4. then use colon end index. Then, so what exactly end index is? Till what point you want to go further? So let's say till here, I want to fetch the substring is 3. So in this case, first index will be 1, end index will be 4. It will go plus 1. So when you pass 4 here, then it considered till 3. Okay. Then you have steps. What is steps? The number of jump you want to do. Let's suppose by default it is 1. I'll give you an example and you'll understand it. So if I write like this, Rohan, so name variable, right? The start index is 1 colon, end index is 4 colon 1. So what it does, it start from 1. Then the step for your cursor is next step because the step is 1. If I pass 2 here instead of 1, then it will skip h here. It will directly jump to next step. So it will skip 1. Like jumping to 2 step, again 2 like that. So let's say I'll give you the example. Let's understand this first. So name equal to Rohan and then as I print name, then use square bracket. Start index is 1 colon, end index is 4, right? And colon 1. It means we are fetching OHA. And if I pass step print name 1 colon 4 step 2 means your cursor will jump to the next element skipping this. Right? If you see the step is 1, then we are getting OHA. When I say step is 2, then it skips the H and go to the next second element. When I say 3, so let's say if I have a long paragraph, right, and I want to fetch substring from 1 to let's say 14, and I say step is 2, right? So it start from 1, the 1 is H. Then because of step is 2, so it will skip or it will jump to the next second element S, right? Then space will be skipped I. Then again this S will be skipped. Next second is space. So like that it will fetch the substring. Okay. If I say 3, then it will go to third element. Let's take this example again to understand. Item 1 equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 0. Now let's suppose I want to fetch from 3 or 2 to 9, jumping each third element. So I say print items starting from first index to maybe let's say ninth index, and I want to jump to 2. So it will start from 2. It will skip this 3 because we have passed 2 here jump. So second after this second element is 4. Then second element is 6. Then second element is 8. If I say 3 here, then it goes to third element. So you start from 2, then third element is 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 5. The next third element is 8. So that is the meaning of step here. Now the default value for each variable like start index, end index, and step. Let's suppose if I do not pass anything, I just say print para of colon, right? Colon. I'm not passing anything. means it will consider default values. So the default values here is start index will start from 0 and end index will go to the length of your para till end, right, -1, and the step will be 1. That is the default values. Now there is a catch. So let's suppose if I say like this, para default start index, default end index -1. I am just changing step to -1. Then see this, your entire string got reversed. Okay. So if you want to reverse a string, then you can use this syntax. Now, what is the meaning of this? So whenever we are passing a minus sign here, we are saying you travel from right to left now. Okay, so you can change the direction of your cursor. When you are passing positive, then it goes from left to right like this. Okay. So let's say step if positive, then the direction will be from left to right. So what is the meaning of left to right? Your start index become this, and index goes to right direction, correct? This direction. When your step, if it is negative, -1, -2, -3, so direction will become from this right to left, and it will consider first element from your end, and it will go till this side. So because we are passing, so let me just write it. Then right to left. So when we are passing -1, the direction got reversed for the cursor. It will move from end to start, right to left. Okay. So let's suppose if you want to access from like NaH, right? Means you are fetching the substring and you are reversing also. If you see what is the substring here, HAN, but I want to reverse it. NaH, I want to make this. So you can do it in single statement. You can pass like this, print name, and so first we will change the direction -1. It will give you the reverse value, right? And in this case, first index will become -1. Sorry, your index will become, one second, let me check the index. So index will become here, H index is -3, right? So -3 to -1. So you can say just take -3, then you see -3 is Rohan, -3 to -1. So here we are fetching a substring HAN, and that substring we are doing a reverse. Then from HAN it becomes NaH, right? Now let's say one problem for you. We have a paragraph. Let's say para equals to this is a pen, right? ये एक string है आपके पास, and now my output should be reverse of each element, reverse of each word at his own place. देखो अगर मैं इसको रिवर्स करूंगा डायरेक्टली तो ये होगा NEPA like that, but I want like this. So let's say for this SIHT, right? For is it will be SI, A for A, pen for NEP. So this should be the output. That is the problem for you. Okay, one assignment question. So there are some built-in functions available for a string. Let's say if you want to do lot of operations, um, for example, let's say you have a string name, right? And you say name dot. So you see there are a lot of predefined functions available. This is one of the function capitalize. Um, if I use it and you hover on it, you will see the uses of it. It says return a capitalized version of a string, right? So I'll just make it R small caps, and then if I use the capitalize method, then so the output will be R is caps now, right? So if you want to make a camel case or that kind, not a camel case exactly, the first letter of the string will be capitals using this. So like that, there are a lot of functions available. Let's say if you want to make all the um, string characters into uppercase, then you can use your string dot upper. That is the function, right? So you see here, all the elements are the move into capital letter. Then we have more functions available. Print name dot. So we have replace, we have stray, stray, right? Join we have. So there are a lot of available functions. So the assignment for you is you can write it. Explore all predefined functions of a string and their time complexity. So now let's suppose you have a big paragraph. I'll take one paragraph here. Let's say Elon Musk wiki, and I'll take one paragraph and I'll consider this paragraph as a string, right? I'll just copy it and paste here. If I say para equals to double quote, paste it right, like this. And if you run it, you see the output. It says unterminated string literals. What's the problem here? The problem is this string and this string is having a different lines. Okay. So what you can do to accept same way the paragraph is written. So there is an excellent way in uh, Python. So you can use triple single quote or double quote also works. Okay, triple single quote. So if you see this now, entire paragraph, this paragraph and this paragraph both considered as a string. So if I say print type of paragraph, so the output is string type, right? Now you can perform any operation on it. Let's say if you want to find out, uh, let's say any of the word, let's say PayPal, right? I want to find out PayPal is available in paragraph or not. So what I say, print PayPal, right? This is a string and use in operator. So in operator used for checking whether the substring is available or not. If I say PayPal in para, then output is true, right? Because it is there. Instead, if I use, let's say, some other company name, maybe Amazon, right, which is not available, so it returns false. The meaning is you can check any substring within the string using an operator. Okay. Let's say I want to split each word from space. Okay. what I will do, I'll say, let's say data equals to para dot split. So this is a predefined function available, and you can share here from which substring you want to split. So I say split from space. So whatever substring you pass within split, it will split using that substring. So now if I say print data, see the output, right? So the entire data is converted into list, which we will be discussing in next classes, right? And each word of the sentence is one of the element splitted by space, right? And let's say if I want to put instead of space something else, let's say dollar or something, you can use join, right? So this is the task for you. I want to replace all the spaces in this by dollar. Okay, so this topic says concatenation. If you want to concatenate two strings, so let's say you have a first name, Robin, and you have another variable, last name, Robin Hood, right? And you want to make full name out of it, so you can use this syntax: first name plus, we are passing a space because we want to split it by space. If let's say if I remove this space, this look like print full name. See here Robin Hood, but there is no space in between Robin and Hood, right? So if you want to have a space in between Robin and Hood, you can use this syntax, and this is the output, Robin Hood. So now we have more arithmetic operators. If you see, this plus is arithmetic operator, right? So we can try multiple arithmetic uh, operators, right? So what are the arithmetic operators we have? Plus, minus, multiply, division, right? Then division floor, percentage, and we have star star means this is for your power, right? So now let's suppose if I want to try out with a string, and if I say like this, um, data equals to first name minus last name, right? So this won't work. It says error. Okay, minus is not supported. Plus used for concatenation, but minus is not supported for string type of data. And if I say, okay, let's use multiply. So data equals to first name and multiply with last name. Then you see the error is different. That was unsupported error. Now this says can't multiply sequence by non-end. So what is the meaning here? We can multiply any string with integer. Okay, if we can pass one of the variable as integer, then that's fine. So let's say if I modify this to data equals to first name multiply by 5, and if I print data, what it does is it creates the 5 times of the copy of the variable the data, and it added into it. So the number of time you want to replicate, you can do that, right? This won't work. Dono variable, if both are string, then it won't work. One of the variable should be integer. Let's say if I want to use on last name, I can say this also, data equal to 2 times of last name, right? And if I print data here, then you see hood hood. So if I say let's make it 2000 times, then it will become hood hood like this, right? So you can do this modification using multiply operator. Now question for you is, you should try division floor and percent and this square also, multiply, right? You try all the arithmetic operators on a string type of data and see the behavior. Why it is useful? It is useful for debugging purpose. Let's say by mistake somewhere you have used different operators, and you should know what should be the expected output, and you will be able to identify the errors. So we will be discussing more about string interview questions and list in next class. Thank you everyone.